Hello everyone and welcome back to Twig, or This Week in Gaming. I am your host, Josh B. from MER Gaming, and today we are covering the second major part of the Summer Games Fest. If you happen to have missed the first part of what we covered, make sure to go check that video out, or you can just click the top right of this video to go check it out. In today's second part coverage of the Summer Games Fest, we will be covering the OTK Games Expo, Xbox, Ubisoft, and Capcom events. There is a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. First on our list is the OTK Games Expo that happened June 10th. This was the spot for indie games to really shine during their showcase. We've chosen 4 games that really stood out the most to us, but we definitely recommend you check out more if you enjoy indie games. The first of those games was Atomic Picnic. This 4-player third-person roguelike game has a heavy emphasis on their air gear or air grappling system. It's kind of familiar to the one that Monster Hunter Rise has, which is a really fun mechanic to have, so we can't wait to see how this mechanic is changed up with the different style of game than Monster Hunter. Next was Alien Hominid Invasion, a side-scrolling co-op shooter. This is being made by the Behemoth, who are known for Castle Crashers and Battle Block Theater, and this game will be a sequel to the original Alien Hominid game released back in 2004. The game's art style is pretty iconic and obviously matches what the company is known for. You and 3 friends abduct intel from your enemies to sabotage their plans, blow up bosses, and mutate into a variety of powerful alien forms in order to take down the not-so-secret agents that are dead set on ruining your day. The game is set to launch sometime this year. The Precinct is a police game set in the 1980s, where your mission is to clean up the streets of Averno City. You achieve this goal through car chases, searching buildings for clues, and even firefights. The game looks like it could be a lot of fun, but unfortunately there is no current release date. And last on our list, from the games shown off at the OTK Showcase, is Ready, Steady, Ship. This is a couch co-op puzzle game where you and a friend take up the role of a factory worker trying to fix problems and puzzles by using conveyor belts. Fix the brakes and get the packages moving so work can continue when it releases later this year. Moving on, we have the Xbox Showcase. Their showcase started with a full CG trailer of the new Fable game titled just Fable. It didn't really give us much to look at other than the classic crude British humor the Fable games have been known for. And, well, obviously giants. Now, giants are definitely new to the Fable series, so it'll be very interesting to see how they fit into this beloved franchise. The game didn't have any form of release date, unfortunately, so we'll just have to continue waiting for this long-awaited revival of the series. The next game shown was a strange one. 33 Immortals is a Hades-looking action game with a unique gimmick of 33-play co-op, which sounds crazy in this style of game. We won't be getting it anytime soon, however, as it is set to be released sometime next year. We got a great update for Payday 3. This new game in the series has much better graphics, obviously with Payday 2 being 10 years old now, and all new gadgets to play with as you bust through buildings and vaults to make a big score. We got to see cameras exploding while hacking, electric grenades to stun cops, holding hostages as meat shields, and what looks like to be a bulldozer with an auto shotgun. Now, these were just a few of the new features we got to see in the trailer, and we are hoping that we will get a lot more of this goofiness in the game when it launches September 21st. Next up, we got to have our block of 3 Atlas-developed games that got announced. The first one being Persona 3 Reload. This will be a full remaster of the original Persona 3, but obviously with updated and enhanced graphics, as well as the ability to control party members. Sadly, they have said it won't contain any of the extra content added in the P3 Portable and FES versions. Persona 3 Reload is set to release early 2024. And keeping with Persona, they showed off Persona 5 Tactica, a new Fire Emblem-style tactics game with the Persona 5 cast. The game looks like it leans heavily into its original game by still having a one more system, spell casting, and all-out attacks, and is set to launch November 17th. The last game shown by Atlas was a new IP titled Metaphor. The game looks really interesting as it looks like a medieval era Persona style game, from the art style to the classic enemies and summons. The only thing other than the setting that is different about this game is that there are a lot of non-humans in the trailer. I guess we'll have to wait and see what more they show off as we get closer to the game releasing sometime next year. And now we get to talk about a game that we haven't seen anything from in a long while, Avowed. This Skyrim-looking game made by Obsidian Entertainment is looking really great. The game is said to have a scale close to Outer World with a focus on story and world building, which is really cool. The game is set to launch sometime next year. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth was kind of a great surprise for this event. It looks to be a sequel to the original Like a Dragon game, but with a twist of it being in America. This is a first for the series that has previously only been set in Japan. We'll have to wait till next year to see exactly what Ichiban gets up to in America and what wacky side quests come along with it. They then showed us the next racing game in the Forza Motorsports series. This looks pretty much like every other Forza game there is, just with updated graphics and some new cars. So if you loved the previous games, well, it's set to launch October 10th. Next up was a new third-person action-adventure game called Dungeons of Hinterberg. This cel-shaded game lets you skateboard on your sword, or you can use it as a weapon. You will also have magic and the ability to gain new abilities by making townspeople, and is set to launch sometime next year. We then got a great look at the long-awaited Cyberpunk 2077 DLC, Phantom Liberty. This DLC will take V to a new part of Night City to save the President of the United States. Along the way, V is going to try and find a way to stop that chip from killing him. We'll get to see exactly how this story plays out when the DLC releases September 26th. City Skyline 2 was shown off at the event as well, and oh my gosh, it looks awesome. This better looking sequel has a lot of new quality of life features coming your way, so you can build your city however you would want to. The new City Skyline 2 is set to release October 24th. Xbox also announced a console release during their extended showcase for everyone's favorite co-op horror game. Phasmophobia is coming to consoles. Now, we don't quite know when it's going to be fully out, but we do know they are starting in early access in August. So get ready, grab your friends, and get investigating some ghosts. Last up from Xbox, we got a very lengthy look at Starfield. This new Bethesda game is set in vast reaches of space. You're tasked to explore unknown space, settle colonies, and find unknown relics. You can explore alone or with different companions, with all but one that they showed being human. They also showed us that your spaceship that you fly will be a major part of this game. You can fully customize your ship to make it however you would like it. Now, these changes to your ship don't just change the look of it, but it actually changes the functions of them too. The guns got the same love as the ships did, with so much customization options for them, along with great looking models. They also showed us the 3 major types of weapons that will be available, those being ballistics, railguns, and energy. Along with this, they showed zero gravity gunfights in space that honestly look and sound amazing. They then ended it off by showing us what looked like space magic. It literally looked like a shockwave that made a group of enemies float in the air. They also showed us a limited edition Starfield controller and headset, and I'm telling you what, both look fantastic. I will definitely be grabbing that controller. Starfield is right around the corner, releasing on September 6th, so get ready. Next in the Summer Games Fest was the PC Gaming Show that took place on June 11th that showed many new and upcoming PC games. The first of these PC games that really caught our eye was Ebenezer in the Invisible World. This Metroidvania game is set in the world of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, which is kind of a weird choice. You play as Ebenezer as you use ghosts to explore and save London from Caspar Malthus. Along the way, you explore the backstories of the ghosts and fight evil ghosts as well. The game currently doesn't have a release date, but there is a demo available to play right now. Next up was Warhaven, a 16v16 fantasy combat game. This game appears to be kind of similar to Chivalry, but with skills to give you an edge in combat. We can't wait to see how much mayhem this will be during gameplay, which we'll get a peek at June 18th to the 22nd. After this, we got a look at Path of Exile 2. This time around, the gameplay shown was during daytime, and we got to see just how much different and honestly better it looks with that lighting. We also got to see a couple new animations with the two-handed staff that looked very fluid and very well done. Again, though, we'll have to wait till July 28th to see a little bit more. A new first-person shooter made by Tiny Build named Ferocious was shown off at the event. This game reminds us of the art style of Sons of the Forest mixed with Jurassic Park. You will arrive on a prehistoric island after being shipwrecked. You explore and find people and, well, dinosaurs, and you have to shoot your way through them all. Next, we got to see a real-time strategy game set in the Warhammer series, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Realms of Ruin. Quite a long name. In this game, you will use one of the 4 factions to fight in the single-player story, or you can play with friends in multiplayer. We'll have to wait and see how exactly it compares to other RTSs that are on this list later. If you want to try this game out for yourself, you can join the beta now to play it on July 7th through the 10th. After that, we got to see a new game from the Don't Starve developers called Dread Pilots. This 2D space exploring game will have you taking up jobs to make money and explore more of what's out there. You will be attacked by pirates or even alien life as you try to complete those jobs. It is planned to release sometime 2024. Second to last on our coverage of the PC gaming show is 30XX. This Mega Man-inspired game is a 2-player side-scrolling platformer that has quite a few new features that Mega Man doesn't. One of the biggest differences being that the game will feature a roguelike mode. We'll have to wait until August 9th when the game releases to see how it compares to its inspiration. And lastly, for our coverage of the PC gaming show is Stormgate. This real-time strategy game is being made by former StarCraft developers, and it is looking great. Stormgate is really starting to look like a better-looking StarCraft 2, but we can't get too ahead of ourselves as they are only in pre-alpha. If you would like to try this game out for yourself, they are planning a closed alpha sometime in July. Ubisoft then came out for their Ubisoft Forward event. There wasn't too much shown at this event besides their 4 big games that they're working on. The first of those being Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. The game really reminds us of the Far Cry games, but obviously set in the Avatar universe. The blue people, not the airbender. You play as a Na'vi as you explore the world and your Na'vi heritage. You upgrade your character as you play and unlock new ways to protect your land. The more you explore, the more encounters you'll have, like finding mounts that can help you traverse different parts of the world, or even enabling aerial combat. The game sure seems to have a lot to offer, and we cannot wait to get our hands on it when it releases December 7th. We then got an announcement that we will finally be able to try out the long-time delayed Skull and Bones. They announced during this event that anyone can register right now for a closed beta that will be happening on August 25th through the 28th. So if you've been waiting for a long time to play this game like we have, we suggest you head over to their site right now and get registered. Next up, we got a new trailer shown for Assassin's Creed Mirage, showing a bit of gameplay as well as a large amount of story elements. The gameplay is really starting to look like the older Assassin's Creed games, which fans can't get enough of. They are really excited for it. The game itself looks fantastic graphically, and the story elements shown is really getting people excited. We see a small group of assassins gathering, chatting, and teaching one another the art of an assassin. This will definitely be a game that we pick up and explore once it releases October 12th. Lastly, from the Ubisoft Forward event, we got to see 10 minutes of gameplay for Star Wars Outlaw. This great looking game finally gives us another Star Wars game where you don't play as a Jedi. Instead, we get to play as a female outlaw as she takes jobs all across the galaxies with her robot and cute dog thing. We also got 3 different styles of gameplay shown in this trailer. The first being an on-foot stealth section that transitions into a full-on gunfight. We see a cover system along with her pet fetching a larger weapon for her. After this, we saw a high-speed chase on speeders that showcased a kind of Red Dead style slow time lock on and shoot system. Pretty interesting. To end off the trailer, they also showcased her robot friend along with some spaceship combat. Now, the space fights seemed kind of slow, but that could have been intentional with how they shot the scene for the trailer. The game itself looks very, very good and is set to release next year, but man, we cannot wait to see some more. Last on our Summer Games Fest recap, we have the Capcom Showcase. We'll start with the bad news first and move on to the good stuff. Pragmata has been delayed. Womp womp. This space-based game looks to be some style of action game, but really that's kind of all we can make out of it. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what's more to this game as time progresses. Path of the Goddess is a Japanese-style action game that was shown off. We saw many different yokai invading through portals as humans try and fight them back. This game looks like it will be a mix of fighting alone and rallying other humans to help you fight back the massive hordes of enemies. As development progresses, we'll definitely make sure to keep you up to date with anything that is released about this game. After that, we got a look at Exoprimal's story. This exosuit-based shooter features both PvP and PvE aspects at the same time as you fight your way through dinosaurs being teleported in by an evil AI. The evil AI is named Leviathan, and during the game, you'll come to learn how he came to be and try your best to stop his evil plans. We're pretty interested to see how players will handle Leviathan and his endless hordes of dinosaurs when the game launches on July 14th. And lastly, for the Capcom Showcase, we got to see another great look at Dragon's Dogma 2. Now, they didn't show us anything really new, but they did answer some questions that a lot of us had. They are bringing back their pawn system, but with improved AI and new mechanics. They also said that there will be new vocations or job classes for you to use and experiment with. We are super excited to see what they have in store for us as we get closer to a release date. And that will be it for the second part of our Twig Summer Games Fest recap. Please make sure to check out all of our other videos and subscribe for more content coming in the future of all things gaming. This has been Josh B. from Merclan Gaming, and I will see you next week for another episode of This Week in Gaming.